Welcome, everybody. We're starting to Pittsburgh New Works, our first of 2025. I'm joined here by Susan Zemecki. Say hello, Susan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Yeah, and I just want to remind everybody that this is a Pittsburgh New Works Festival event, and the Pittsburgh New Works Festival is dedicated to fostering the development of one-act original plays. We present our series each September. It is local one-act play. Well, no, it's all over the world actually, but we do new one-act plays produced in the Pittsburgh region by the regional theater companies. You want to add something
Yeah,
to
every
that?
year we hold a competition inviting playwrights from around the world to submit one-act plays that have never been produced before. That way we can present to you world premieres. So that process is going on right now. We are accepting new one-act plays. You can go to our website if you're a playwright and check out our guidelines. And if you're working on one, or you have one in the drawer, our deadline is April 6th.
Just gonna say,
So,
yes,
as Mike said, we partner after the plays come in, they are read, they are evaluated, they are scored, and the top scoring plays then go to our partner companies from around the region, generally about 15, and they will select the plays they want to produce. We do auditions for all of the plays in July, and then we present our season in August into September. The
yes.
plays you will see in the reading series are among the top scorers that simply did not get chosen for a full production. But again, we're the cream of the crop. We get about 300 plays a year. So
Right.
only
We
about
do about
30
the
go to
top
the
30.
companies. Mhm, to the companies to select. So again, it's wonderful that we are able to bring you more than those plays that get the full productions. And that's what we're
Yes.
all about tonight. And
So
I
yes,
also
thank
want to
you.
note that
Yeah.
the land on which all of this happens is the traditional land of the Seneca people. And we want to acknowledge them and thank them for their stewardship of this land.
Great. Thank you. And when we're in person in September, in August and September, we'll be at the Genesius Theater. That land is at Duquesne University, which is on the Seneca land you mentioned. Great. So why don't we just get introduce our two actors tonight? This is a two-person show with our narrator, Susan. And we're being joined now by there they are, James Michael Schoberg, and there she is, Carrie Schoberg. And tonight we have our special guest commentator will be Heather Rupert. You want to say hello, Heather?
Yeah, totally. Hello, everyone. I'm a board member of the Pittsburgh New Works Festival and also a producer of the Summer Company, also held at
And
Duquesne University.
director.
And director, absolutely, and director. And I directed Happy for the past this last season.
Yes,
So
terrific.
just to explain how this goes, um, Jim and Carrie will do the reading of the play, and then Heather will offer some commentary, and we will open it to you for your questions and comments. Uh, Heather will talk about if she were producing it, what would she do? And she can also comment on the performances, and so can you. Usually we have a playwright on board with us, and you can ask him questions, but as it happens, he is not able to be with us tonight. He is on a plane, so we wouldn't want anything bad to happen to the plane.
But
So
this is being recorded and he will get a chance to hear it in its entirety with our,
including your comments, yeah.
including our, yes, so be kind, even though he's not around.
And
Uh,
he is Jack Karp of
yeah,
San Francisco.
right. Uh, and let's introduce our actors, James Michael Schoberg and Carrie. Why don't you guys say your name, who you're playing, and if you have anything coming up.
Carrie,
Carrie.
you can start.
I'm Carrie Schoberg, and I will be playing Regina. Jim and I are working on the same thing, and I'll let him tell you all about it.
Oh, great. Jim.
I am James Michael Schoberg. Yes, Carrie and I, we have our own theater company, the Rage of the Stage Players. This is our 24th year. And this summer, we are going to be the first 3 weekends in August. We're going to be doing a revival of our play, Dorothy and Oz, which is The Wizard of Oz set in a mental hospital. And we thought it would be a good time to do a revival right between the two wickeds.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah,
Perfect.
so we thought, and a lot of people have been very excited because it is easily our most popular play and the one that's the most demanded. When are you going to do that again? When are you going to do that again? So we're excited.
So those people that bugged you better show up.
Yeah, it's always the way.
Yes. Like, oh, that's the week I'm gonna be somewhere else. Yeah.
We keep a list.
I'm going to
With
be
that-
gone those 3 weekends.
Yes, exactly. 3 weeks. It's running 3 weeks. You have plenty of chances, people that are listening now, to get in and on that action. With that, why don't we go ahead and start? Susan, you have anything else to add?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. Yes.
Writer's block. Darkness. A bare red light bulb. Glowing bright. Gradually, the stage lights come up to reveal a table and 2 chairs. The red bulb hanging above. There is a large trunk upstage and balls of crumpled white paper everywhere. Regina and the male character, partly undressed, are kissing passionately, clothes scattered on the floor.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
It's all I can think of.
What about your wife?
She's too busy with the new baby to suspect anything.
They kiss for a long moment.
I just feel so bad about Jimmy, stuck all alone in that wheelchair, thinking I'm visiting my sick mother while we're together in this seedy motel.
You said he never touches you anymore since he was paralyzed in that car accident.
But doesn't it bother you, betraying your own twin brother like this?
He's not my brother, not since he stole our father's inheritance.
That was 10 years ago.
And it's taken me this long to get my revenge. I only wish I had thought of it sooner.
Thought of what?
She pushes him away.
What happened to Jimmy wasn't an accident, was it?
A worn-out brake line, a severed brake line, what's the difference?
And me? Am I part of your revenge too?
Don't pretend to be shocked, Regina. We both know that this is what you really want, ever since that night in Paris.
Paris was a mistake. It would never have happened if the car hadn't stalled out in front of that romantic bed and breakfast in the middle of that rainstorm.
Weren't you the one who forgot to put gas in the car?
He pulls her to him and kisses her hard. They kiss for a long moment.
Oh, darling, you're right. How could I have been so blind?
I feel the same. It was never really about the money. It was always about you.
He starts tearing his remaining clothes off.
I've fantasized about this for so long, about peeling your clothes off with my teeth.
Oh,
Which she
God.
does. The red light bulb starts to flicker.
And running my tongue up and down your rain-slicked body.
Oh, God.
The red light bulb flickers.
And
She
then
pushes
getting
him.
on top of you and taking you in my...
Oh,
The red bulb
God.
turns off. She stops suddenly, gets up, and walks away.
what? Taking me in your what? Hey, where are you go?
He begins picking up her clothes from the floor.
I guess he decided he didn't like it.
Now he decides he doesn't like it. Now he couldn't wait one more page.
A crumpled ball of paper falls from above and lands on stage.
Guess not.
She gets dressed. He gets up from the floor.
I mean, sure, it wasn't exactly Shakespeare, and there was an awful lot of exposition, but I kind of thought the last part wasn't bad. Hmm? You don't think he might pick up where he left off?
She sits at the table and takes out her cell phone, which she plays on throughout.
You're not going to talk to me.
Nothing to say until he writes it.
Oh,
He
well, how long
begins,
does that usually take him?
You must be new.
He just thought me up this morning.
she plays on her cell phone while he struggles to put on his costume, which is clearly far too small. Eventually, he sits down to squeeze into his shoes, loudly. She glares at him.
Ugh. Sorry, these are really.
He returns to playing on her phone. He keeps wrestling on his shoes.
Why are these so.
The last guy was smaller than you.
What do you mean, the last guy? Are you telling me there's been somebody else?
The red light bulb turns on. Regina stops playing on her phone.
You're being paranoid.
She goes to the trunk upstage and opens it. Inside the cover is a handwritten sign that says, baggage.
Am I? Then who gave you those?
She takes a bouquet of flowers out of the trunk.
What did you expect after you just up and disappeared? I haven't heard a peep from you in months. You could have been dead for all I knew.
I couldn't bear for you to see me like this, broken and limping around like some damn cripple after what those thugs did to me.
She takes a crutch out of the trunk and tosses it to him. He uses it to limp around throughout the following.
I begged you not to get mixed up with the Garcetti again.
We needed the money.
What was it this time? Ponies or cards?
I know. I know I screwed up. I'm sorry. But I'm back now, and I want to.
So ponies then, huh?
I did it for you. So you could have the house you deserve with the yard and the red tricycle and the driveway that you've always talked about.
I never asked you for any of that.
But it's what you want. You can pretend it's not, pretend you're happy, but it's just pretend.
I'm done listening to your feeble excuses.
So you're not going to talk to me?
There's nothing to say. I won't keep doing this. The drinking jags at the track, the nights you don't come home, the wondering if you're lying bloodied in a ditch somewhere.
I suppose you don't have to worry about any of that with this other guy, huh?
No, I don't.
Who is it? Who is it, Regina?
Like I would tell you, so you can get drunk and beat him up. That's all you know how to do, you and Garcetti.
You
Grabs
tell
her
me
arm.
who it is. Tell me who it is, or I'll...
Oh, you'll what? Hit me again?
He raises his hand to hit her. The red light flickers.
Go ahead, you know you want to.
I will, Regina. I swear I'll...
Then do it.
He moves to hit her. The red light turns off. Regina removes his hand from her arm and walks away.
What's wrong with that one?
He's probably worried you'll be too unsympathetic if you hit a woman.
A crumpled ball of paper falls from above. Regina tosses the flowers to the floor and sits back to play on her phone. The male character, no longer limping, drops his crutch.
Regina, huh? How come I don't get a name?
Because I made him promise never to make me a character in one of his plays. Then I dumped him. So now I'm a character in one of his plays.
Well, that seems kind of immature.
He's working on it in therapy, but he hasn't made much progress from what I understand.
This isn't at all like I thought it would be. I kind of imagined it would be a little more, you know, the burst of inspiration, the spark of creation, the light bulb going off.
Do you always keep talking when it's obvious nobody's listening?
You're listening.
I'm hearing. I'm not listening. There's a difference. It's subtle, but it's there.
I was just trying to make conversation.
His job, not yours.
Okay.
Long pause while she plays on her phone. He takes off one of his shoes and tries stretching it loudly. She glares at him, and he puts it back on. Long pause. He picks up a ball of paper and bats it back and forth between his hands.
Don't you have a phone or something?
What are you? Huh.
I said, don't you have a phone or something?
No,
No, you don't have a phone?
I guess he was thinking of doing something, I don't know, period.
Great. He's going to try that again.
I don't know. Sounds kind of fun. We get to learn some history and try out an accent, maybe. Huh?
You're not the one who has to wear the corset.
Long pause while she plays on her phone. He stretches out his other shoe loudly. She glares at him, and he stops. Long pause. He starts shooting imaginary baskets with the paper balls or kicking one around like a soccer ball. She glares at him.
Sorry, I have trouble sitting still. I get anxious if I don't have a clear objective to pursue.
Another nervous one. I hate when he writes the nervous ones.
Of course I'm nervous.
The red light comes on.
You are not nervous?
Certainement. I am scared to death, but what choice do we have?
He goes to the trunk and takes out 2 berets. She tosses one to him, and they each put on a beret.
We can abandon this foray and sneak across the border into free France. Just you and me, mon cher.
And were it only for our own safety while the Nazis murder the people of Paris. Manon?
But blowing up one of their trains, it is too dangerous.
Doing nothing has its dangers as well.
If they catch us, they will shoot us.
You are not listening to me.
Of course, I am listening, Regina.
No. You are hearing, not listening. There is a difference. It's a bleu, but it's there.
Then let me be the one to do it.
Pourquoi? Because you are the man?
It is not your place to take the risk.
That is just it. Do you not see? The Germans, they'll think the same. It will be easier for me to sneak the bomb on board as they will never suspect. Enfin!
And where will you even get this bomb of yours? All weapons have been banned.
I already have it. It is right here.
She takes a large bong out of the trunk. The red light flickers.
What is that?
Typo.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You're the one that brought up accents.
Crumpled ball of paper falls from above.
He can be very suggestible when he's having trouble.
Regina drops the bong to the floor, and they both take their berets off. She sits back down to play on her phone. He tries adjusting his shoes again. After several moments, he goes to the trunk.
Not allowed in there.
I just want to see if there's a bigger pair of shoes.
He doesn't like it when characters go rummaging around in his subconscious.
You go in there. He couldn't just write me a new pair of shoes?
Shoes cost.
They're imaginary.
Yeah, imagination's been in short supply around here of late.
I got it. You mean he's got writing?
No, don't say it.
I can't say writing.
It upsets him if we say it.
But does he have it?
Hasn't finished anything since I've been here.
How long is that?
Who knows? I lost track 5 years ago.
But there have been 5 others.
There have been way more than that. That's just when I stopped counting. There was the scientist, the superhero, the writer. There was the other writer, the other writer. You're all just different versions of him. Nervous, overly chatty, a little lacking in the looks department, but I guess you write what you know.
And what happened to them.
He couldn't come up with anything good to put them in.
So he does have writer's block. Oh.
The red light comes on.
Someone's coming.
We hear footsteps off.
There's not supposed to be any guards.
He goes to the trunk and takes out 2 ski masks and tosses one to the male character. They both put the masks on.
Why wouldn't there be guards? It's a bank.
Yeah, a sperm bank.
Oh, I can't believe I went along with this.
It's a solid plan. We take the deposits and hold them hostage so the couples they belong to have to ransom them back.
Why wouldn't they just make new deposits?
How would they just make new? Oh. Ooh,
Footsteps grow louder.
They're right outside.
what do we do?
I don't think we have a choice.
You said no one would get hurt.
No one except the sperm.
They crouch behind the table and he aims the gun in the direction of the footsteps. They wait. The red light starts to flicker. They wait. They wait some more. The footsteps fade and the red light goes out.
Now, why did he stop that time?
He'd have to write a whole new character for like one line. Who's going to cast that?
A crumpled ball of paper falls from above. They both take off the ski masks and drop them to the floor.
Why is he making this so hard? They're just words. You write one down, then you write another down, and another.
You can't rush the muse.
Well, where is this muse? Maybe we can light a fire under them.
You're looking at her.
I thought you were his ex.
Yeah, I'm kind of both.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
He plays on her phone. He pulls a chair beneath the red light and climbs up on it.
Not gonna work.
He reaches for the red light bulb and is immediately shocked when he touches it. Maybe we see sparks, and is thrown to the ground.
Told ya.
Don't ask me if I'm okay or anything.
You're fine. He didn't write the male character gets hurt, so you're not hurt.
He gets up from the floor.
So what? We can only do what he writes that we do? Well, that doesn't seem fair.
No different than anyone else.
Hey,
You think all of them want to be here?
He looks out at the audience, seeing them for the first time.
who are they?
Spare characters he thought up once, but never figured out where to use.
And why are they all just sitting out there?
They don't fit in the trunk.
No, I mean, why are they watching us like that?
They're hoping he crosses you out and decides to use one of them instead. Otherwise, they're just stuck out there. It's kind of sad, really.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean? Crosses me out? Is that what happened to them?
Who?
The guys before me, the ones whose shoes I'm wearing.
I think a few of those are them. I can't remember which.
The male character picks up a crumpled ball of paper.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Is that all you've got? I'll never tell where the money is. So go ahead and torture me all you want with the electric shocks to my testicles. Whoa! Oh my God!
It'll just fuck with your head.
He picks up and uncrumples another ball of paper and reads.
Thou shalt not, never maketh me recant. I refuse to give it in to thou blasphemers and consorts of Satan, even if thou puttest my feet to the flames of what the?
You wanted to be in a period piece.
He picks up and uncrumples another ball of paper and reads.
Gluck, gluck. It's so hot in here, gluck, gluck. And why does it smell like garlic and butter and dandruff? This one's about a talking fish being fried in a giant top hat.
He went through a surrealist phase.
These are horrible.
You should see his titles. He's terrible with titles.
That's not what I meant. All these characters end up dying horribly.
What did you think happens if he can't make you work in something?
You're telling me that if he doesn't write something good for us, then he just kills us off?
No, he kills you off. I'm like the manifestation of every woman he's ever wanted but didn't end up with. I'm way too hot to kill off.
The red light bulb comes on.
Sure, you're a looker, but you're toxic.
She goes to the trunk and pulls out a trench coat and fedora, which she tosses to him. He puts on both.
I'd love to give you a spin sometime, but I got a job to do and I can't be dragging around a dame while I do it.
She pulls out a pillbox hat and, well, veil, circa 1930s or 40s, and puts it on.
I should warn you, my husband has enemies.
She takes out a pack of cigarettes. She hands him a cigarette and takes one for herself.
Everyone has enemies.
She lights his cigarette and then her own.
I mean real enemies, the kind that leave bodies behind.
They both smoke. He clearly has never smoked before.
You say that like who they are.
What's it to you if I do?
I suppose I'd have to make it my business to find that out.
And just how would you do that?
I'm guessing that lipstick would look good across the back of my hand.
I'm guessing you'd enjoy that.
And I'm guessing so would you.
I could just feed you a line.
I've been at this a long time, doll. Lying to me ain't easy.
How hard could it be? They're just words. You say one, and then another, and then another.
Look, these are dangerous lugs. They won't think twice
Red light starts to flicker.
about putting a pill in either of our bellies. And I'm not about to get myself rubbed out just because
The red light goes out.
Thank God, I fucking hate noir. And these things are disgusting.
you think.
He takes his cigarette from him and puts out both, waving the smoke away. A crumpled ball of paper falls from above. She takes off her hat and sits to play on her phone. He takes off his trench coat and fedora.
Can you be doing something?
Like what?
Oh, I don't know, inspiring him, giving him ideas?
I am doing something.
What? What exactly are you so busy doing that's more important than keeping him from crossing me?
He looks over her shoulder at her phone.
Tinder? You're on Tinder. Oh, aren't you his muse?
It's really more of a ceremonial title.
No wonder he has writer's block. No wonder he writes things that are terrible.
I think it's quite beautiful, actually. Trying to create something and failing again. But you keep trying anyway. Just to say something you think is important and let other people have a window, however small and fleeting, into your soul. It's really very brave.
I hadn't thought of it like that.
Neither had I, but he wrote it for me to say, so I have to say it.
Well, maybe if you stopped swiping left on shirtless tiger guy 1983 for half a minute and, I don't know, argued with me about your abortion or confronted me about my affairs, he'd get a decent idea or something.
Why waste my time? He hasn't even fleshed you out yet. You're still just a loose collection of vague, superficial qualities and a handful of recycled cliches.
You mean like on Tinder?
Fuck you. Don't blame me for this. I can only do what he imagines me doing. And ever since I dumped him, this is what he imagines me doing.
What would you go and dump him for then?
He didn't make enough money.
You dumped him because he didn't have enough money?
Hey, there are things I want in life, and I'm certainly not going to get them dating a writer.
You're really that shallow?
No, but it makes him feel better to imagine that I am.
So until he imagines us doing something else, what?
Wait,
Just wait.
just wait.
Red light comes on.
You're sure it was here?
What?
He goes to the trunk and pulls out 2 bowler hats.
That we were to wait.
He said by the tree. Do you see any others?
What is it?
I don't know. A willow.
Where are the leaves?
It must be dead.
No more weeping.
Or perhaps it's not the season.
Looks more like a bush.
A shrub.
A bush.
What are you insinuating? That we've come to the wrong place?
He should be here.
He didn't say for sure he'd come.
And if he doesn't come,
We'll come back tomorrow.
and then the day after tomorrow,
Possibly.
and so on.
The point is,
The red light starts to flicker.
the point is,
The red light flickers.
the point.
The red light goes out.
Wait, no, don't. No, don't stop. That was good. It was good.
It was also waiting for Godot.
Seriously? He's copying Waiting for Godot now?
Every playwright does it sooner or later.
A crumpled ball of paper falls from above. They take their bowler hats off. She sits back at the table and plays on her phone.
All right. That's it.
He grabs the phone from her.
Hey,
You are not going to sit there and dick around while I wait to be crossed out.
give
This
that
is-
back.
Not until you help him write something.
Chases him for her phone, but he evades her.
No.
Why not? But you're
Because I
his
don't feel like-
muse. Come on.
She grabs her phone and they wrestle over it. It goes flying from the male character's hand and lands on stage, breaking apart.
Ugh, good job.
Well, maybe he has another one in here.
In the trunk.
I told you, you can't,
He starts rummaging around in the trunk.
you're not allowed to look in the,
It wasn't a typo.
I don't know what you're,
He takes out a time bomb from several sticks of dynamite wired to an analog clock and holds it up.
how do I know every piece of detritus he is floating around in there?
And the security guard and the cigarettes and the abusive. You are sabotaging him.
I told him not to make me a character in one of his plays.
What about me? Oh, if you keep him from writing anything, I get crossed out.
Not my problem.
Wow. You really are a cold, selfish, mean
Oh,
spirited.
don't blame me. This is how he wrote me.
Well, like you said, write what you know.
Slaps him.
I'll have you know, I'm really a very warm, caring person.
Okay.
In life, I mean.
You dumped him because he doesn't make enough money.
Oh, that's not why I dumped him. That's why he tells himself I dumped him, because it lets him off the hook
For what?
for being absent,
for being so damned obsessed with his writing that it was all he ever thought about, even when he was with me, for treating me like a distraction. I didn't want to end things. I loved him. And the sex was amazing, but I'd rather have my heart broken all at once than a little bit every day. And yet here I am, stuck in this play, being put through this same crap over and over with a bunch of different yous, which are all really just a bunch of different hims, who I dumped so I wouldn't have to keep being put through this same crap.
And how does getting me crossed out fix that?
I'm not trying to get you crossed out. I don't care about you.
Then why are you ruining all of his... Oh.
Maybe if he realizes he's never going to finish anything as long as I'm here.
But that doesn't scare you. Nothingness, silence, the blank page.
Actually, it sounds like a relief.
The sex was really that good, huh?
Nah. But he wrote it, so I have to say it.
Nah. Of course you did. Wait, why did you slap me?
Because you're an asshole.
But why did he write for you to slap me? Did he write Regina slaps the male character?
No, I just felt like...
He looks up at the light bulb, which is off. Then he runs to the trunk and starts rummaging through it.
What are you...
Let's see here. A baseball glove, an astronaut helmet, a guitar.
That's not how this works.
Is that what they say? The writing's at its best when the characters take over the story? Huh? See here. Book of Shakespeare? Retainer. Cowboy hat.
That's a myth. That never really happens.
There must be something in here that we can... Okay, Playboy, another Playboy, another Playboy. Not a Playboy. A spark or, an idea, a seed of
Please
something.
don't! I can't keep going through this.
The red light comes on.
God damn it, where is it?
He tosses a bathrobe out of the trunk. Regina puts it on.
It's late. You're going to wake Lucy.
We have to be here somewhere.
They took the shrapnel out a year ago. The doctor said only take the pills until it healed.
It still hurts.
Then go back and get an MRI.
I don't need an MRI. I just need...
You promised you would stop.
Keeps looking through the trunk.
You promised Lucy.
I also promised her the Mets would win the World Series.
You have a better chance of quitting these fucking pills.
I have better pitching.
You can't keep this up, Jake.
Every time I try to sleep, I see those kids.
What happened wasn't your fault.
I didn't stop it.
You weren't even there. How could you have stopped?
Yes, I was.
Wait, you were?
We were hiding about 100 yards up, and when I saw the kids running to the car, and I sat there and I watched, even though I knew that there was an IED planted underneath.
You told me you got there after.
That's what they ordered us to say. I had to say that.
And still, what could you have done?
I don't know. Shouted at them, fired my gun in the air.
And give away your position?
They were children, Reg.
And your men have children too. What about their kids who would grow up without dads if you had done that? What about Lucy?
So American children are more important than Iraqi children.
We're American.
I just need them to get me through tonight. Then I'll be fine.
People died from that stuff, Jake. Is that what you want?
Honestly, it sounds like a relief.
He reaches into the pocket of her robe and pulls out a prescription bottle. He goes to her for the bottle, but she pulls it away.
You can have these if you want, but then I'm packing up the car and I'm taking Lucy.
I'm her father.
And it'll break her heart, I know. But I'd rather break it all at once than one piece at a time.
He takes the bottle of pills from her.
Don't tell her, okay?
About the pills or the kids?
I don't know, both.
He takes out a pill and pops it in his mouth. The red light goes out. A white sheet of paper, uncrumpled, floats gracefully down from above. They watch it land softly on the table.
Congratulations.
What?
He gave you a name.
You're right. You called me Jake. Jake. That's I don't know. What do you think? I mean, do I look like a Jake? What's wrong? He came up with something. That means he won't cross me. Oh. Sorry?
Just a rough draft. Maybe there's still a chance he'll throw it out, especially if he can't come up with a decent title. He's done that before.
No. Really?
He's terrible with titles.
But that's not. I just got a name.
Take a look and see what he's calling it.
He indicates the page on the table. He picks it up and reads aloud.
Writer's block.
The red light starts flashing like mad.
Uh-oh.
What? Oh, what? Huh? What?
I told you not to say it.
No. I was just reading. You tricked me.
You're in terrible danger.
The red light comes on fully. We hear explosions off.
What danger? What danger? What is he doing? What?
The Huns are getting closer.
The Huns?
It was so brave of you to sneak across no man's land to see me, but you have to go back to the front before they get here.
Takes a gas mask out of the trunk.
What's that for?
For the mustard gas, of course.
Wait, for the mustard gas?
I promised to tell our unborn child all about you.
Mustard gas? No.
And how bravely you died.
I'm Jake. No, Jake.
Another explosion, and then his shoes and helmet come flying back on stage. The red light goes out. Silence. She picks up the sheet of paper from the table, crumples it into a ball, tosses it over her shoulder onto the floor.
They never learn.
He scans the audience, possibly even going out into the seats, and chooses an audience member.
Looks like you're up.
Motions for the audience member to come on stage. If the audience member hesitates,
Come on, he can't write all day. It's not like he's getting paid for this.
he sits the audience member down in one of the chairs on stage. Then she picks up the shoes and hands them to the audience member.
These might not fit, but try them anyway.
While the audience member tries on the shoes,
You're not a nervous one, are you? I hate when he writes the nervous ones.
the red light comes on. The stage lights slowly dim until we can only see the red light bulb glowing bright. End of play.
Thank you guys. That was great. Oh, he's coming back from the dead. Jim Schoberg, our male character, has returned.
That's Jake to you.
Jake. Yes, that's right. Excellent. Well, what I like to do Normally I would ask the playwright what he thought of the play, but since we don't have him today, he's on his airplane. Let's get our Heather, our guest commentator, to respond. I first want to say before we even get into that, excellent performances. You guys really brought it to life, I thought.
Yeah.
Heather.
Yes. Hello. So first of all, I really do like this play. I always love a good two-hander, right? Whenever I was reading this play the first time, I always thought you had to have two very strong actors who were able to get different characters very quickly in succession, and that takes very talented actors. So wonderful job, both of you, to really understand and get the comedy as well as, in-depth tragedy of the, mortality, right? Right? Really thinking about mortality, really thinking about where you stop, where you start, how people affect you. And those are all themes of the play, big themes that I think that are brushed upon throughout the script. I really like it's a simple set, but with really complicated pieces, right? And a lot of props. When reading it, I really thought that in order to make the play work really, really well, is that you'd have to have a very tight team. Somebody, two actors who trust each other, and the director and a stage manager who all trust each other, because there's a lot of intimacy going on, whether that's physical, almost striking each other, almost, with the kissing and the almost undressing, and being able to really, you'd have to create a very, very trusting bond. And I think that would be key to the show. So that's kind of what I thought. I really liked the dynamic of the actors, the dynamic of the play. I love a breaking of a fourth wall, as long as it's not done too much. So I really enjoyed those pieces. Just a little quip right in the middle and a little quip right at the end, just to make it a little bit more Twilight Zone-y. So that's I really like that about this play.
Yeah, Heather, if you had chosen, would you choose a play like this if it was up to you?
I would absolutely consider it. I would absolutely consider it. I think that a couple of things that you'd have to do is you have to make sure you have the right actors, right? Actors that can go quickly from different characters and have that really read off well, that, okay, they're characters now, but now they're themselves. They're characters now, and now they're themselves. And you really, really have to make sure that you have actors who can pull that off. Because if you don't have actors who can pull that off, then you're not going to have a successful show. So you have to make sure that you have the right actors there. And then I also think that you'd have to have an intimacy coordinator, right? So I want to make sure that
unless you cast a husband and wife like we did tonight.
Then you really have to have one.
I was about to say, then maybe you really, really need one, right? Because, kissing and all that, even in the privacy of your own home or wherever, is very, very different than doing it in front of 90 people, right? It's super different. And so, to even get over a hump like that. I think that where some challenges would be with this show would be all of the props needed to make sure that you have all of the props there and ready to go. The red light, I was thinking, that could be a little hard too, but I'm like, no, not with smart light bulbs. That'd be really easy.
Right. Or we have really good projectionists.
Exactly.
Genesius. My problem was the papers floating from the ceiling from we'd have to probably put somebody up there.
Yeah. And throw it down or
Right.
off stage, right?
Yeah. Hey, I have two comments from not questions really, but just comments. One was from our president of Pittsburgh New Works, Amy Joseph. She had said, "Great play, wonderful cast." And I have an anonymous attendee saying, "This would be a wonderful play to see live, especially if we could get these two." I wholeheartedly agree. You guys did a really fun job.
Oh, imagine if we had rehearsed it.
And I just have to say about that French accent, I do see the difference. Gary, that was fun. So another question I would ask you, Heather. Well, first of all, let me ask you guys, our actors, before we get into any more questions, Heather.
Okay.
Well, how did you guys feel about the play? You read it. I mean, Claire, our Claire DeMarco asked you guys to come in and read the play for a reading series.
Thank you, Claire.
Initial thoughts or anything you want to add about it?
I mean, I love doing plays like this. They're just fun. And I mean, if I know that I'm going to do it with Jim or somebody like Jim, that we didn't rehearse it, but we know we can play off of each other and we can trust each other and come up with those sorts of bits. And whoever had the first line with whatever accent, we know the other one's just going to go with it and take it from there. So that's fun.
You guys surprised me with the props. Just all of a sudden, they're like, all the stuff starts coming. I was waiting for an astronaut helmet. I was like, oh my God. When the guns came out, I was like, holy crap, we got the guns.
Given more time, we probably would have had everything.
We probably could have had it all.
Right.
But
That's
anyway,
hilarious.
first I would like to say, Carrie, someone like Jim? This world would be much cursed if there was someone like Jim.
Oh my. Well, you know what? Nancy, who is also on our reading series steering committee, try saying that one 3 times, said, great job, Jim and Carrie. I knew it would be fun.
Thanks,
And
Nancy.
she was right. It really was fun. It's interesting. I had read the play beforehand myself. And it's still interesting at the very beginning. You still get a little bit like, what is going on here? Like, what is, and I hope we didn't lose too many people in our audience before we really get, in a live show, you're sitting there and you're going to stick it out through the whole thing and go, oh, this is interesting. I wonder what's happening. But on a Zoom, it's really likely easy to go, I don't know what the F is going on. Click. And I'm glad. I hope nobody did that.
First, I would like to also thank Claire and just say that if Claire sent me a page from the phone book, I would perform it. If she asks me to do it, I will absolutely. And I want to say,
I love that. I'm hoping she'll probably text me at the end of this to tell me, or she'll email you guys all and say thank you, because she does a really good job picking these. It's so funny. I don't know what, like, got really good casting director energy, because I find myself going, oh my God, that's exactly who I would want in this part.
Well, she flattered us because we got to open the season last January, and we were so happy to get a message saying, hey, you guys want to do
This is a tradition now. So we have to do it next year too.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen the email.
Love
I haven't
it.
seen the email. I just got a text. I'm looking at my phone in the morning, and it says, are we going to do this reading? Exclamation point. And I went, that depends. What are you talking about? And, Buzz, I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
I kind of, I think I looked at this uniquely in that not only was I performing it, but absorbing all the things from a playwright's perspective.
Yes.
And so that's what I wanted to ask you is that as a playwright watching it, you actually, there's even more like subtext with the jokes and stuff that I think, coming from a playwright, I just kind of wanted to see what your perspective was on that.
I do. And one of the things that strikes me is it is funny where I wrote something one time where in my head, I knew in the third act I was going to kill this one character off. And it was almost like you didn't want to die. I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the ability to, matter of fact, I even named him, I gave him I named him Tony Ancillary. So because he was an ancillary character.
Ancillary.
I love that. That's great.
And I just was like, but I just couldn't. I wounded him instead. He was able to fully recover.
You were a benevolent God.
Yes, exactly. That's another funny thing too, is I was writing a script with a friend of mine, and we were picturing this was like sort of a situation where we were in a warehouse, and we had pictured the warehouse in our heads because we were like using one that we knew of in our heads as like, okay, the bad guy comes in from it. And we couldn't figure out how the bad guy could sneak up on everyone. And all of a sudden we were like, hey, we can put in a back door. Like we have
You can do that.
control over this universe. We don't have to like, it doesn't have to be that like you're in a, it was like a garage with a big open end, so that's, and they have somebody come in through the other side. It is funny how you realize you are the master of your own universe when you're writing. However, I do feel like sometimes the characters sort of want to go in a direction in their own direction, and sometimes you got to let them. Sometimes you got to let like, no, she wouldn't say that, and usually they're right because if you write a character that would speak one particular way, you don't want them, they might not do like if she's a high society chick, right? You got the high society woman in a story, and all of a sudden you have her like sleeping with the janitor. Well, I don't think she's gonna do it, or she might not even, or like the other thing I always think of is you come up with the perfect nun. No, I'm sorry, the perfect line, but you can't have you can't have the nun say the line.
Say it.
Right? Because it's like, oh, it's the nun who's like a detective on the side, and he wouldn't say the thing that like I would think. It's like, okay, it's got to be somebody. You put somebody else in the room or something. Oh, we have
Killing
another.
your babies, right? It's like
Right.
killing your babidos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Oh, I do have a question. And this is from Michael Schoberg. This comes from Heather Gray. I don't know if you know her, the interpret. She interprets a lot of.
I know Heather.
Oh, okay. My question for Jim is, since you performed this role on stage, now in a wait, since you performed this role on stage and now in an online streaming format, can you speak to the difference in preparation, audience reach, and the aha moments that you found?
I know what she means.
Okay.
I can actually, Heather, this actually it's very similar to another play that I was in New Works, and it was written by the same playwright. It was not in a play world. It was in a different one. But it had a very similar concept. There were 4 people in it, and it was 2 people that they were saying things and they would come true. And this was, I think, 2011. It was years back. And so it wasn't, they were kind of parallel, but they weren't exactly the same. So in this case, I do have to say, though, I can still make the comparison, especially because they were written by the same playwright. When I first read the play, I even said to Carrie before she got a chance to read it, I said, this play, there's something about the energy. There's something about it that seems so familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. And I don't know if I think it might just be Jack's, his style, his voice. Because once again, like I said, it is different than the one that we were in, but there was just something about it that had a familiar energy. And so, of course, I had to deep dive and go on the New Works page and start flipping through years. And I'm like, there it was, Jack Karp. So actually, they weren't the same, but they had like the same playwright and kind of the same energy. So
interesting. Hey, Carrie, Heather has a question for you.
Okay.
Since the pandemic, the arts have been hit with many challenges. How do you see theater evolving moving forward? And do you think that online performances in various forms like this can revive the social theater community and attending the community attending shows from their home?
Okay. Yes. Well, that's hard. Because the entire point of theater is to see it live with an audience and the back and forth between the performers and the audience and so forth. But the pandemic, forced us all into a virtual corner. And we were actually kind of grateful to have the Zooms and all of those things that we had so that we could do something theatrical to keep it going until we got on the other side of that pandemic. Super glad we're on the other side of it and we can have live theater again. But, everything evolves. This all started as stories around a fire in a cave and, and then in the Greek, it evolves. So, but I think that the important thing is that there is a story, someone performing it, and someone watching it, which gives us the essence of what theater is. So,
When I think about theater evolving, one of the things I've noticed lately is everybody has a projection designer now.
Mhm.
It's like there's this new element there is a mixed media element now to almost everything we do. And by the way, we used to do these before the pandemic. These were live things. We would go out and,
Mhm.
luckily in the weather we're having lately, it's kind of nice to have a Zoom. Like especially during these winter month ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I say
again,
that.
usually the playwright can join us, even if he or she lives in California.
That's the other advantage.
Yeah.
And having family, we've had people from around the world submit plays.
Yeah.
And being able to have them, their families, and their friends watch has been really a great thing.
Yeah.
Especially for our out-of-town guests. I
There
love
are
that.
pros and cons, but there's nothing. There is
No,
there's
there's nothing like live
reading in
theater.
front of a live
You know what?
Absolutely.
You know what? Because we were stuck inside recently, this whole last week, because it was so cold, I didn't get out as much as I normally do, and I
Right.
like to get out to something once or twice a week to see
Right.
something. You remember the stuff outside. I don't remember. I watch television shows and I'm like, oh, did I see this episode or not? I don't know. It doesn't seem to hit me the same way as live does.
No, I agree with that, but and I also want to say it's between, Zoom shows and technology. I think that the way that it's advancing, honestly, is in this economy, we need to learn how to save money and we need to save theaters, especially live theaters. And we know how hard it is, to ensure that live theaters are still continuing. And I think that allowing audiences to have a Zoom option or have a video option at times is a really good thing, because it allows them still to be acquainted and to be exposed to theater. And then on top of it, you brought up the tech and the projections. It saves so much money. Our technology has advanced to the point where it's so much easier to get a screensaver up there of, a background or a cafe or whatever you're in, and you can literally use very simple sets and still convey a theme, still convey where you're at, they'll still convey what you need to get across in a very, very reasonable fashion. And I think that that's how we can use technology moving forward within live theater, because there is nothing like live theater. But there are also people who, we have to think about this. There are people who love theater who are differently abled, right? And who can't always get out to go to live theater as much as they'd like to. And it allows people who aren't able to, for whatever reason, access theater at home.
Well, just from the fact that the question came from Heather Gray, who does sign language, American Sign Language.
Oh, very cool.
At at a lot of theatrical events around town. So that's great. Hey, Bridget Harris wanted to say, I'm a writer and I totally relate to the author's struggle. That's that's great. We know it's funny about like having, I don't know, 5 years, you might want to concentrate on your J job if you hadn't written anything in 5 years.
Can we talk about the muses struggle, please?
Yes.
You poor thing.
All you muses out there, all the
Oh,
closed doors.
It is true though. As a writer, we are usually all writing. Our characters are all aspects of ourselves or our friends. The funny thing I've always noticed is you can write in the sort of things that your idiosyncrasies that your friends have, and they will read it and they will go, I can't believe that character acted like that. And I'm like, that was you 4 years ago, and I wrote it down.
Oh, I just had a technical thought about the paper you were talking about at the beginning.
Yes.
If you didn't have a fly space and a catwalk and that kind of thing to float papers and balls of paper,
I was thinking of
somebody could do it off stage as airplanes, paper airplanes.
Oh, that would work.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Easy fix. Yeah.
Exactly. Anything can be fixed with the right ingenuity there. Another anonymous attendee, I just want to read what they said. They went, I enjoyed getting to watch this online. Thank you all at Newworks for providing great theater for the community. Oh, I didn't read it before I read it. That's so nice. Thank you, anonymous
you.
attendee.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything else they want to add? We're getting at 8 o'clock. I don't want to take too much of people's time.
No, I don't. Carrie?
No, thank
Heather?
you, New Works. Thank you.
Okay, I do want to talk about our next show. It is Black Sheep by Sandra Hosking. That is February 23rd. She is from, what did you say, Newfound Lake?
Newman Lake. Newman Lake, Washington.
Newman Lake. Oh, another West Coaster.
Another West Coast playwright.
Which means we got to get more people from the East Coast and especially Pittsburgh to send in their plays for this year. Please go to our website and consider, especially Bridget, who just told me she was a writer. Bridget Harris, send in a play. Anonymous attendees, send in a play.
Anonymous attendee.
You know, Annie, for
plays
sure.
are supposed to be anonymous. I might start signing all my
That's
plays
true.
like that.
It is
anonymous
all,
attendee.
They are blind readings. We do, while in the submission form, you put your name in a certain area, but the readers don't see that name until after the plays are picked. And we do that so we don't accidentally just pick just our friends, as you know, or our enemies even. But,
Yeah, and please also know, I'm just gonna make a quick comment about that as well. We get a lot of questions about copyrights.
oh yeah,
Once you write and submit a play to our festival, it's copyrighted under general copyright law. If you want to get that individually copyrighted for yourself, that's fine, but it is copyrighted, so you're good there on privacy.
yeah,
In case anyone had that concern.
exactly. That's a good point. And we always do, it's very fair. It is a very fair system. And I'm looking forward to, can't wait to see what people are come up with. I always enjoy reading to see what our plays are. Yeah, our attendees are starting to drop off.
Yep.
So let's, we had a nice strong showing, so it was great to see everyone and I'm so glad everyone was able to join us out there in the audience, our virtual audience.